It feels good in my heart, in my soul when you're right here beside me. And I don't ever want this day to end. We can watch the waves, have a Coke and just sit here beside me. I take a little of my heart again, so we can feel wherever you feel. Together be real, together and no one cares.
This is what's at stake as we build up to another exciting edition of Coca-Cola. This year we are in Zishane for the national finals, but before we talk about the national finals, a lot has been happening in terms of Coca-Cola. We're celebrating 30 years and the districts are done and dusted, and we're now talking of the provincials slated for Friday and next week. But before we even talk about the provincials, we were at Mzilikazi just this past weekend. Mzilikazi, remember, they won the Coca-Cola tournament for a record 4 times, and they were honored for being a part of a rare class of schools that won the Coca-Cola 4 times. In our next edition, we're also going to be speaking to a legend of Copa. He won Copa with Churchill Boys High, but he went on to do well beyond the country's borders. We're then going to shift our attention to Rujeko, 2016 champions who are gunning for another podium finish this year. But away from that, we start off at Mzilikazi, a rare school where it's not only about football but also about the academics. They received a donation of books, a part of a trophy tour of this edition of Coca-Cola. But let's start at Mzilikazi and find out what happened.
2018 is a special year for Coca-Cola, celebrating 30 years of the Coca-Cola tournament, which began in 1989 at Gifford High School. As part of a series of activities lined up by the tournament sponsors, Bulawayo was painted red with the inaugural winners of the Coca-Cola tournament, Mzilikazi High School, given special recognition for being among a rare class of schools to have won the competition for a record 4 times. Mzilikazi were rewarded with textbooks that were handed over to the school at a special occasion graced by students, NASH officials, Coca-Cola representatives, the media, and former students that include Johannes Ngodzo and Castro Ndebele. Guests that graced the occasions were welcomed by Mzilikazi headmaster Beko Kotle Due, who thanked Coca-Cola for the kind gesture, which is expected to go a long way in ensuring the availability of learning material.
We give sincere thanks to Coca-Cola Zimbabwe for sponsoring such an occasion in remembrance of the past 30 years as the official sponsors of Coca-Cola Under 15 Schools Tournament. I thank in advance the donation of textbooks to the school by Coca-Cola Zimbabwe. These textbooks will go a long way in supporting the school implementation of the new curriculum. This goes to show that Coca-Cola Zimbabwe supports soccer learners who also pursue academic prowess.
Chiwanda paid tribute to Mzilikazi's rich history with the Coca-Cola tournament.
We are here to talk about the journey that Coca-Cola has traveled for the past 30 years. Since 1989, we are now in our 30th edition. As we celebrate this milestone, we have found it prudent to pay a courtesy call to your school. Mzilikazi High School is a special school where we trace our roots. Like we have already heard, the first trophy was won by Mzilikazi High School, which for us is something that is very important. This is the school that won the inaugural Coca-Cola in 1989 at a tournament that was hosted by Gifford High School. As we look back and reflect on how Coca-Cola came into being on that August 2nd, when former President Joshua Nkomo handed the trophy to Peter Ndlovu and company, we cannot help but cherish the history of a tournament that started in Zimbabwe to nurture soccer at grassroots level and has been leading the light in many aspects of soccer.
Her address was then followed by the ceremonial handover of the Coca-Cola trophy and textbooks to the school. With Coca-Cola showing its commitment to a continued partnership with NASH, National Association for Secondary School Heads Vice President Arthur Maposa was satisfied by the strong relations that continue to exist between NASH and Coca-Cola.
We have come a long way I have always said to Chibanda, I always say to her, a wedding is a one-day drama, but marriage is a full-time ministry. What began as a one-day drama there in the August of 1989, when it avoided any lapses of divorce, you know, when you go beyond 5 years, you are sure it becomes very difficult to divorce. We survived that. And to this day, we are now celebrating a full-time ministry with Coca-Cola.
In between the speeches, a jovial mood engulfed the handover ceremony with pupils showcasing their dancing skills, all in pursuit of gifts that were on offer. With Peter Ndlovu, Benjamin Konjera, and Johannes Ngozo among a long list of players to have passed through Mzilikazi High School, the headmaster Bekokohle Dube is gratified by the talent nurtured at the school.
I would like to name Mzilikazi High School learners who have played and scouted in this tournament, even though we did not go on to win in the recent past. These are, we have got Andrew Mbeba, is playing for Highlanders currently. We've got Charlton Siamalonga, is playing for Highlanders currently. We've got Godfrey Makaruse, plays for Highlanders currently. We've got Shadrack Nyahwa, he plays for Bulawayo Chiefs. We've got Amandishe Moyo, he plays for Bulawayo Chiefs. We've got Kelvin Moyo, he plays for FC Platinum. Elvis Moyo plays for FC Platinum. Teenage Hadebe, he plays for Kaizer Chiefs in South Africa. We have got Kudabacha Mahachi, plays for Golden Arrows on his way to Orlando Pirates in South Africa. We have got Joel Ngozo, Caps United. We have got Gifty Lunga Jr., Bulawayo City, the son of Gifty Lunga Jr. again.
Yesteryear grades that include Peter Ndlovu and the late Benjamin Konjera were students at Mzilikazi when Cuthbert Chiromo was still the school's headmaster. Chiromo, who was part of proceedings at the handover ceremony, still has memories of Mzilikazi's dominance.
89, 93, 99, and 2001, when we won this trophy here at Mzilikazi High School, and we were on top of the world, on top of the world. So coming here today and seeing new people coming on a different note as well, you know, giving books to the schools, you have, as it were, completed the picture, which I've always wanted.
When drawn into revealing the recipe of success for Mzilikazi and how they won the Copa Coca-Cola tournament 4 times, Chiromo attributed Mzilikazi's success to teamwork.
It was a team effort. I must emphasize that. There was the sporting side. I also loved soccer like I still do now. Kids would come, they would play with their friends there. And if I saw one of the soccer players coming into my office, they'd say, say, he is looking for a place. Something would tell me, this must be a friend and someone who plays soccer as well. So we would find out, we do the formalities and get the child in, transfer into the school. There were some parents, again, you see, who knew my interest in soccer. And that, you see, their kids may have, you know, a career in that side. The name that comes to mind was Mr. Ndebele, who came with his son Castro Ndebele. We saw him here. And I said, no, Mr. Ndebele, I've got room. We transferred the child from Mamshope, and he came to the school. So that was my secret. And one other thing is that, you see, I tended to be the only head at the time who put the two, academic and sporting, together.
Though knocked out of this year's competition at the district finals, Mzilikazi still harbors hopes of rekindling the glory days with top performances on the football pitch. From Zilikazi, the next Coca-Cola destination will be Hippo Valley High School, another institution that has excelled in the Copa Coca-Cola tournament, having won the Copa title for a record 4 times.
Well, exciting stuff. That was the excitement at Zilikazi High School in Bulawayo. 4-time champions of Copa Coca-Cola, and it's good to see the lads are there dancing, not only to the tunes but also dancing for Copa. Next port of call is Hippo Valley, and then from Hippo Valley the trophy will shift base to Chechu. A rare class of schools that have won it for 4 times. Remember, you're watching Copa Coca-Cola at 30. We're back with more on the other side.
Make us sing forever and be real together. No one can stop. With every fading sunset, we see the stars align. We make the simple moments last for a lifetime.
Well, it feels good to hold this trophy. Never held a trophy before, but so many have done it over the past 30 years, and one of them is Onismo Basera, who happens to be our guest this week. He played for Chechu, went on to win the regional tournament, and also went on to play in South Africa, and then he shifted base to the UK, that's in England, back in South Africa at Supersport, where he has got a number of Zimbabweans alongside him. And remember, Kaitano Tembo is also part of that team at Supersport. We are talking none other than Onismo Basera. They call him Bas. Onismo, good to have you. And how was it playing in the Copa Coca-Cola tournament? And now you're in the big time, but back then, tell us how it was.
Firstly, just want to greet the viewers, but it was, I've got a very good memories with Coca-Cola. I think I've played it a couple of times, and I've managed to win it like locally in Zim and also international. So, and I've managed to to captain also the team. I'm sure 3 occasions. So I've got a very good memories with Copa.
And looking at your Copa experience, any game that you remember? I know it's so many years back. You've been on the road traveling around the world, but any game that stands out?
I think there's a lot. Even when you're playing, when you're still playing in Zim and playing international, I still remember when we played in Rufaro, the international. We played in Rufaro. We beat Zambia in the finals, playing against the likes of Kenneth Nwene, now the Sundowns goalkeeper, and Katongo Felix, and the Kalaba was also part of the former Morocco Swallows, what's his name, Chamanga. Okay. He also played in that Copa, and a couple of guys from Zambia which I know, which I managed to play with. So it was very interesting, and I've got very good memories with it. And
looking at where you are now, Baza, you've been around the world, you've been to England, you've played for so many big teams in South Africa, Kaizer Chiefs, you're now at Supersport. What role did that tournament play in developing you as a player?
No, it really played a big part in my career, because starting from there and also managed to play, international, managed to play with the players which I just mentioned, some of them. So it was a really good, a confidence booster, I might say, in my career, which really played a part. And at that age, to get such an exposure to go, and play in certain tournaments and certain the competitive, the way competitive it was, and it was a very good stepson for me in my career, and it really played a very big role.
Interesting that you're one of the rare privileged ones who traveled across the world and also going beyond the country's borders. You played in Zambia, you played at home. How was the experience of just traveling with the boys back then when you're not a big star?
It was a very good, we enjoyed a lot of times with the guys, because and when it is school, sometimes when you're just playing, probably I still remember when you were playing those games locally, when you were playing Prince Edward, it used to, for us in our group, because Chechu was on the other group, but us, we had Prince Edward and maybe, what was it, Crembon boys. So I remember very well, we used to camp like sleeping. They say camp is supposed to sleep, but back then we couldn't sleep. Like we had that, that excitement that tomorrow we're gonna play a big game. So we just like chill the whole night, chatting to each other, singing. So it was, and now going, with sometimes most of the trips, it was, we were busing out and passing in, so it was very good. You had more time to gel together, to chat, to talk funny stories. So it was all about, you know, enjoyment. And back then of course we dream of saying I want to play there, but back then it was more of, you know, enjoying the game, which was, you know, which was very good.
And you're now making relations even at this stage of your career, but it all started back then when you were a young boy. How important was it in your career having that background of Coca-Cola, molding relations with others? You're obviously making friends at this level, but back then, how was it? How did it help you?
It really did help me because, you know, as a player, you get, when you go outside, when you play such tournament, your attitude also to be strong as a player, you know, mentally you need to be strong. It really helps us because at that time you'll be playing at a certain stage. So it's different now playing, you know, grassroots, playing around. But when you go out there and you play at a certain stage, it really helps you, you know, to develop as a player, to have attitude and to read the game more, because it's different tactics, it's different ball game altogether. So it, you know, it helps you in any way, which, you know, it managed to help me also as a player to be where I am now. It all started from, you know, playing those games.
You're one of the privileged ones who won the Coca-Cola tournament with Lord Malvern, a rare class of boys alongside Mzilikazi, just not one. But what was the secret behind that?
The first thing I must say, we had a very good understanding as a team, because mind you, we were coming as an academy. We were playing at us, and we were all enrolling at excuse me, Lord Malvern High School. So we had a very good understanding. Of course, when you go to international, they were picking some of the guys, but of course the core of the team was us. So we had a very good understanding. And for me, I've got a very good memories, because, you know, when I played there, when I was captain, I managed to go player of the tournament twice. Yeah. And I still remember playing with the likes also of Aaron Simumba, you know, the Zambian, you know. So, you know, I managed to get a lot of friends. Even now, Kennedy, last time I still remember when I started met him, it was back then, but now we're still in touch. So it's very interesting so for me, it really helped me and also the other guys. So, well, now that you've made it on the big stage and you are adored back at home where you play for the Warriors, you also adored here in South Africa at club level. Any words of advice to youngsters out there who want to be like you? Just want to tell the guys, you know, the young lads, you know, to really take this serious. It's a stepstone. They must go in there, but at the end of the day, they mustn't. It's not all about results. Sometimes at that stage, it's all about enjoying your game and get to know your strength and get to know your abilities. So you go out there and enjoy. It's all about enjoying. So this game is, you need to enjoy it. When you're no longer enjoying the game, you rather sit home and maybe look for a job in the office or in the industry, because this game is all about enjoy. It's what you know. It's what you were born to do. So you rather enjoy it or maybe go home. So I want to encourage the young boys to go out there and just enjoy themselves, and, you know, it's a good platform for them. You know, we thank Coca-Cola for putting out the funds out there, and, you know, for the guys to get the competitive as it is, and good luck to all of them.
Well, interesting insight there coming from the man they call Baz Onismo Basera. They're taking us through his Coca-Cola journey. He's now playing in South Africa, but it all began at Lord Malvern, and we're just getting some insight into that experience.
Hi, this is Onismo Basera, Warriors and Super Sport Defender, and they are watching Coca-Cola at 30.
So earlier on, I was holding the boys' trophy, and now I'm holding the girls' trophy. Remember, the girls are now part of the cast. Having started with the boys in 1989, 2011 we shifted and included the girls, so there's so much at stake when it comes to Copa. 2 trophies at stake, and it all comes down to Zishane this year. We keep nailing it that we will be in Zishane for the national finals, but we're not done for this edition. You're still watching Coca-Cola at 30. Back with more.
Be together, make us sing forever, and be real together. No one can stop me. With every fading sunset, we see the stars align. We make the simple moments last for a lifetime.
Well, welcome back. You're still watching Coca-Cola at 30. There's an old saying that says if you don't succeed at the first time, dust yourself and try again. And that's exactly the story of Rujeko High School. They tried in 2015. They were in the final and lost in the final, but went on to win it in 2016. That's at Pelandava in Gwanda. We're talking of a rare school that comes from Mashonaland Central Province, situated in Glendale. That's some 50 kilometers from the capital, Harare. Rujeko High School have made their community proud, and we are talking about their exploit.
Make it easier to sing, yeah.
Glendale houses Rujeko High School, an institution whose name is derived from the English word light. As its name suggests, Rujeko shone brightly and made the headlines after they scooped a maiden Copa Coca-Cola title following a 1-0 victory over Chinhoyi High School at Pelandava Stadium in Gwanda in the year 2016. 2 years after winning the Copa Coca-Cola title for the very first time, Sports Director Edward Rinavashe and Team Manager Loida Tranu have fond memories of the triumph in Matabeleland South.
It's a special feeling, of course, to have won the Copa Coca-Cola, especially winning it against some of very, very strong teams. I think it has been quite a welcome development, especially in March Central, that most of our schools struggle with the nationals, but we've tried to have a go at winning it for the past 3 years, because we got to the finals in 2015 before losing to Deure. Then in 2016 we went a step further and won it in Gwanda. I think winning it is quite special, because we've joined that rare group of schools that have won the Copa.
My games, Edu, they were tough, but we sailed through. Kuma group competitions, Taka manager, we scored 1-0 against each and every team that we met. Then we sailed kwenda kuma quarterfinals and semi-finals up to the finals. Team yese yataingowana taingorwa 1-0 and 1-0 yakatora mari. So we are happy that we managed to be the champions in that year.
While Rujeko were naturally excited by the 2016 Copa victory, the euphoria spread beyond the school, with the Glendale community also inspired by Rujeko's feat. Being among the elite group of Copa Coca-Cola past winners, Rujeko High School is proud to be among the teams to have won Zimbabwe's oldest and biggest school football competition.
It's very exhilarating. We feel very proud to be part and parcel of the Coca-Cola organization, and having our school be part of this is something that we really appreciate.
Looking back, Rujeko's story is one of persistence, especially after having lost to Deure High School in penalties at the 2015 competition. Upon reflection on the school's progression, head coach Hadwe Chatora says drawing lessons from losing in the 2015 finals was critical to landing their maiden crown.
We were inexperienced by then. That day we were leading 3-1, but we kept on attacking instead of defending the goals that we had. So the following year we improved on defending, and we also that year we couldn't even manage to stop those players that were most influential in the Deure team.
Away from the memories of winning, Rujeko derived pride from a legacy project financed by Coca-Cola following their triumph of 2016.
We benefited much. As a day school, we just had ablutions or toilets, but because of the win that we got, we had a legacy project, and Coca-Cola helped us to construct showers at this school. And as a day school, having showers at your school is a blessing.
With Rujeko now considered a powerhouse in school football, the school's success is partly attributed to possessing qualified coaching personnel, as well as the school's commitment in allowing learners to play football all year round.
It's about the technical staff. The technical department has been doing quite a great job in preparing these teams. If you realize that most of our teams actually perform better when we are playing against some of the big teams. That's when we get to perform. We actually punch above our weight most of the times. I think that's what makes us special.
With focus now on 2018, Rujeko are in bullish mood as the school looks to reproduce the performance that won them the 2016 title. Ranganai Chitara, an external coach who is an influential figure at Rujeko, is hopeful that this will be their year.
Tinoda experience atinayo yekuenda national boss taka international the past 3 years, 2 years chipina final, then our third DM quarter final. So experience is going to repeat itself.
Also optimistic of success at this year's Copa Coca-Cola tournament are the players.
Ende kuzishawe tuwenda tuda kutodzoka nemukombe kozi magrounds edu asaranyadzeta bhu toti takawina totenga loni
tushiro tichawina ende team yedu yakabatana atimbofe takachiwa.
Among many factors that have positioned the school on the sports field is the new curriculum, which Rujeko Deputy Headmaster Lindiwe Msikavanu says is fundamental to stimulating excellence on the sports field.
It's something that was long overdue, you know, having sport being part and parcel of the curriculum. And you find that some of these children excel in sport more than academics. And it's giving the pupils, the learners, an opportunity to display what they have.
As Rujeko seek a second crown, Mashonaland Central will be hoping Rujeko can reignite the winning feeling by powering to yet another Copa Coca-Cola title.
Well, it tastes good. Testing the feeling with Coke. We're testing the feeling with also Copa Coca-Cola, celebrating 30 years of a great tournament that traces its origins in Zimbabwe in 1989, and it has since spread to 68 other countries and also included the girl child. Remember, this is a special edition where we're celebrating 30 years of a remarkable tournament. We're back with more next week.